Hi guys, James from DBG here and welcome to another video. This time, with the vein of the previous videos, this is another 30k video and it's just showing off what I managed to collect. Obviously you've seen some of it before, excuse me, you've seen some of it before on the previous video when I revealed that the second Legion I'm going to do is Dark Angels. But I've been very lucky. I found something quite cool on eBay, and one of my regular clients was very, very generous and sent me something. So without further ado, let us have a pan across the Dark Angels. So go over here. You can see there's the characters that you saw in the last video. We'll have a closer look at them. But there's the limited edition guy in the middle. The other guy I got off eBay has been re-kit bashed to repurpose into something else that I thought was far more Dark Angels-y. We have a tactical support squad with melter guns. There's the Terminators, or 10 of them. At the back there we have a command squad with a banner I bought off Reichardt. We have two 10-man veteran tactical squads. We have the Javelin, we have a Contemptor Dreadnought, and we have 10 guys with heavy bolters. So, first of all, big shout out to one of my clients, Mike, who I do all the Death Watch for. He sent me basically a bag. Well, he sent me 2 Rhinos and a Predator and a bag of spare vehicle bits, hatches, Razorback turrets and guns, what have you, which would be very handy for my Space Wolves. I'm planning on getting some more bits and bobs for my Space Wolves. But yeah, it was very generous for me to send them through. It was a bit of a surprise. Obviously he let me know about it, but it was a bit of a surprise, and very cool of him. So this one here, this was the Predator, and as you can see it had a Space Wolf icon on the side there. I popped it off. I have to do a bit more work on this, file that down quite a lot more and green stuff that. The other side's fine. Predator didn't have any sponsons, so I just glued the doors over the top, because trying to get the the recess bit out for the sponson would have been a nightmare. There was 2 of these brilliant Imperial Guard Storm Bolters, which work perfectly as combi bolters. Then I just popped off the top, which is very easy to do. Used a pair of scissors, put it in a hole, pop, off it popped. Filed everything down and replaced it with some of the Rhino back doors that he also sent. So there's a Rhino. And then the other 2 Rhinos, one standard. All I've done is I've added dozer blades and smoke launchers on that one. This one I added actually the hatches. There wasn't any proper hatches for this, unfortunately. But not to worry, they still had the 2 spaceman bodies, so I've just flipped those upside down, fill the hole, and glued normal hatches over the top, and then drilled out a hole for the combi bolter there. So there you go, that is a Rhino. All done. Right, now let's quickly look at the Javelin. This is, I'm still debating whether to strip this, then again I might not. But if you remember me saying, the pilot was had a Mark III shoulder pad on, so I replaced it with one of the spare Mark IV ones I had, and it's still bloody huge compared to the ones that came with the kit. So I'm hoping when it's all painted up you won't notice. And there you go, you can have a proper look at the Shapeways Dark Angel icons, which are very cool. Very easy to cut off, very easy to clean up, and very easy to stick on. Just PVA glue and on they go. So, put the javelin back down there. Now, a bit of extravagance from my half. I got paid for the Deathwatch job last week, so I bought this. Forge World, well, last week or last month, since we're now in June, did a Dreadnought sale. So basically, what you bought the body, and because the bodies and arms come separately, so you bought the body and 2 arms. And what happens was you got this second arm free. So something that cost 50 quid only cost 40 quid, which, you know, is in my mind quite worth it. And obviously, following the advice of Maka from the Outer Circle, I decided to go with a close combat variant, considering he's a Dark Angel and he likes smacking people in the face. So there you go, that's my Dark Angel Contemptor Dreadnought, advancing with his chain fist and normal fist. So yeah, he is a very cool model and actually very easy to put together. I was a bit dubious because I've never done a Forge World Contemptor before. I've done plenty of the plastic ones, but the Forge World one I haven't done it, but it's so easy, it really was. The only thing you have to remember to do is to always, as I said last time, wash your resin. Leave it to soak overnight. Nice soapy water. Regularly give it a bit of a whoosh around so all the grease and release agent comes out. And obviously you rinse it off and let it dry on some kitchen towel again for 2-3 hours to make sure all the moisture and everything gets all sucked up by the towel. And then there you go, you've got a nice clean model to do. Anyway, I try and dress. Now we have these guys. These are 10 heavy support marines. They are armed with heavy bolters, which is the weapon of choice for Dark Angels players. As you can see, they're only 20 something quid off eBay and they've been stripped. Still a bit of residue of the old colour scheme. It's yellow, so they're clearly Imperial Fists, which are the other Legion where you would have lots of heavy bolters. Imperial Fists and Dark Angels are the 2 you'll have the most heavy bolters in because of the Legion rules or ammunition that they have. So those guys there are my heavy supports, and with the molecular acid rounds, which are very, very nasty and quite OP, to be honest. Now, let's move a little bit closer in and we can look at the characters and command squad. I decided to put a power sword on this guy, considering he's a Dark Angel. So it's just a simple swap. With a power sword from the Mark IV set. I've got a couple of those spare. Here is the man himself, the Praetor. Now, as you can see, I've repositioned his head. I've added the Dark Angel icon, which looks very, very cool. And on eBay, only cost, with postage, £2. A 40k Dark Angel's sword, but it makes a perfect Paragon blade. And so that is the leader of my Dark Angels. And now we're on to this guy. He was a Master of Signals for a while. Focus, not on the rhinos, on him, focus. He was a Master of Signals. And then I thought with the sensor down there hanging from his waist, it's more of a chaplain. So I swapped out the head, added some bat bling, and then gave him a power sword, which is a Calibrite Warblade, which is basically a +1 strength power sword. So he becomes the chaplain, and when he's combined with that whole unit there, the Praetor, the chaplain, the apothecary and the command squad, they're actually quite a meaty little unit. Sorry, excuse me. With all the power weapon attacks, the fact that the standard makes them fearless, so they're not going to run away. The chaplain has Zealot, so you, on the first round of combat, you will re-roll. I think it's re-roll if you fail wounds. It's either wounds or hits. I can't remember which one it is, but you will re-roll those, all of them, or is it wounds of 1? It's something like that. It's either wounds of 1 or all of them on the first round of combat. These guys invariably should be charging in. on the first turn. Well, not the, oh shoot, on the first, charging them first, I should say. I'll get my words right in a minute. Anyway, so we have this guy here, armed with Power Fist for a bit of AP 2 in there. And then this is the standard bearer, again with a Calibanite Warblade, which is the power sword from Plastic Cataphractes. I had a couple lying around, so I did a bit of cutting and shutting and put that onto a normal chainsword handle. And then we have the banner, which I bought from Reichardt. And then at the back here we have another guy with a bolter and power sword. These guys are armed with bolter, bolt pistol and a close combat weapon, and you can swap them around as you see fit. So this guy, as you can see, is armed with a bolt pistol and a chainsword, and also a combi melter. And then this guy here, I believe one can have a Nuncio Vox, but it's a Nuncio Vox from the other guy. So he has a bolt pistol, chainsword, combi melter, and a Nuncio Vox. I have nothing that I can use a Nuncio Vox for at the moment. That may change, but I don't know. So that is it. That is the Dark Angels to a certain point. There is 2,380 points here, which is not bad. That's a nice size for a heresy force, as I've explained before. And the good thing is that a lot of this stuff can actually be used in 40k as well, with a bit of swapping about and what have you. You've got a bit of a 40k force going on here as well. So these guys are going to get put back in the box for my next break in commission work. My next job is here. I'll be starting it pretty much the second that I've put all this back in the boxes all nice and neat so they don't break. Then here they will be being painted, and next time I have a gap in between jobs, or my break next year, whichever happens sooner. So the next step for these guys will be to get up to 2250, not 2250, 2500, which is only another 120 points, which is actually 2 javelins. So if I get 2 javelins, I'm at 2500, and then to pop it up to the 3000, I've got a couple of ideas, but it depends on whether I run these guys as a 10 or a 5. It depends. Anyway, as usual, please check out the links in the description for White Shark Gaming and Goblin Gaming. Obviously, if you use the link to Goblin Gaming Shop, you help us out, which is very cool of you. Thank you. Do all the YouTube stuff, like and subscribe, tell all your friends. As I said before, the plan is to get to 2k subscribers before the end of the year, and by liking and subscribing and sharing it around, you're helping us, which is very cool of you. And yes, Facebook, Instagram, check out the pages, check out what we post. Chris is always posting stuff up about what's going on in the community and his little projects, and obviously I'm always posting stuff of what I'm painting and what I'm building and collecting. So there's lots of stuff happening this year. There's an interesting thing happening in June, depending when this video goes up. It may have already happened, I don't know. But even if you catch the news for 5 minutes, you'll know exactly what it is. I'll talk about that separately when it happens. So, without further ado, thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you next time.